Thanks, Winnie, for the introduction. And of course, thank you to JA Asia Pacific and of course, FedEx for hosting this. When I was invited to speak here, I was very excited and honored, especially talking to aspiring entrepreneurs. And unfortunately, last week, I almost didn't make it this week. My father was hospitalized and had to travel around 9 hours to our province to take care of him. Good thing that he's discharging today, and we're going back to Manila today. And I still pushed through. I told JA Asia Pacific that I wanted to push through because I don't want to miss this opportunity to share my journey. And that's really part of being entrepreneur, right? So you'll be getting challenges almost every day, and you just have to roll with the punches. And my story really begins with an idea. And some entrepreneurs might have groundbreaking ideas, but for me, my story starts with a whitening soap, right? Funny, right? My startup was conceived because of a whitening soap. And I will not share the story now, so I'll go back to that in a couple of slides. But I want to introduce myself. So my name is Neptune. I'm 41 years old, although I don't look like one, but I am 41 years old, and I started my company, my startup at 39 years old. So that's 2018. I work in the corporate world for several years in Dell Philippines, and AT&T, and Thomson Reuters as a project manager in the IT department. So from there, I learned a lot in terms of the skill sets that I'm using now in my startup, and that's really important. I started late because I don't have an entrepreneurial parents, and I'm sure some of you, majority of you as a students, you're probably thinking, hey, how can I start my business if I don't have capital, I don't have experience? And that's okay. You can start at a later age. And if you look at other successful entrepreneurs, they started some even started later than me. So I know that we still have a long time to build our business. So let me go back to the whitening soap. This started because while I was working in the corporate world, my wife started selling online. And because I was the one working from home that time, and that's prior to pandemic, I already working from home. She's selling bags, beauty products, and I'm the one who is filling out this fulfillment, this logistics requirement. So she will say, okay, I have 3 bags that I need to send this to this person. I'm the one who scheduled those pickup from logistics companies. But this is only for the Philippines locally. And I was really getting frustrated because I was doing it very manually, right? So you have to book the pickup, you need to make sure that it's been delivered. So I started researching, and then so what's the better way as an IT professional? That's what you do, right? So how do you automate this? And then I started looking at solution for fulfillment, and I saw that there's a gold standard of fulfillment, which is fulfillment by Amazon. But that's in the US, selling in the US. So I was thinking, hey, how do I replicate that? Or why not I sell products in the US through the fulfillment by Amazon? The good thing about that is if you use fulfillment by Amazon, you'll just send the products to them, and they're the one who will ship it out for you. Your products is already in the US. And while I was researching, I found that there's a Filipino product, this whitening soap, that sells here in the Philippines at 50 pesos. And I can sell that in Amazon at 500 pesos. That's times 10. Imagine that, right? So it gives me an idea, hey, I can sell this. I'll buy here in the Philippines and sell at 500 pesos in the US. But it took us really long time, several months, before I can ship it out to the US. And it's not easy as my initial research was. So I talked to logistics companies, and even FedEx, our sponsor, during that time didn't know what to do with what I'm asking. So I had to create my own process, my own system. I had to build my network in the US just for us to be able to send the products. So we started with around 1 box. It sold out immediately. And then another box sold out again. But because we're the one buying these products, we were not able to replenish it as fast as we can. So it takes around a couple of days before it will be remitted to us, our sales. So it takes us a long time to replenish. And our scale is dependent on how much capital we have. So my wife told me, hey, why not share your story, share your knowledge to other MSMEs? And I think, wow, that's a very good idea. So my scale, my business will be changing, and now I will be a service provider for these MSMEs, because these MSMEs already have products. And I started researching on Amazon. There are a lot of Filipino products that might be a good sell as well, similar to whitening. So I started to think, okay, how can I validate that without really spending a lot? So my wife again told me, hey, why not do a workshop, right? So you can test your idea. And you're not paying anything, because the attendees will pay you. So, okay, that's a really good idea. So I charge 15,000 pesos. Imagine that, 15,000 pesos. They're willing to learn about Amazon. So that's a 2-day workshop, validated what I know, that there are a lot of Filipino entrepreneurs, and probably not just in the Philippines, but in Southeast Asia, in Asia Pacific, that would really benefit from what we know, from the system that we build while selling our products ourselves. And then they pay us 15,000, but after the workshop, they will still ask us, hey, can you still help us? I know you teach us already, but I don't want to do the day-to-day management of selling, how to ship it out. It's just too complicated. And that's where the startup eCFULFILL was born. I thought, okay, this will be a startup. I can build a system because I'm an IT professional. I can hire people and build a system so that this MSME, instead of us doing it manually, will do it through a software. And good thing, 2018, early 2018, there was a startup competition, an Idea Space. There's an Idea Space Foundation startup competition, and we applied there. And good thing we're able to win this competition. So they gave us 500,000 pesos to help us develop from an idea to a software and validate what we already know. And this is what we validated. The Philippines is one of the lowest in terms of export. And there's a lot of also MSMEs that would require making their businesses online. So we're actually fixing both, helping them in export and helping them in e-commerce. And this was actually validated with the pandemic, right? So last year's survey, because we have so little in export, so little in e-commerce adoption, 2/3 closed temporarily. And this validated what we already know. So after winning that competition, they gave us 500,000 in support. And also, I got lucky. I received an investment of 2.5 million pesos, so that's around $50,000 US dollars. And we're able to build our system. So we're trying to fix that. A lot of MSMEs are focused on local market. The way they sell is on physical stores. And they wanted to export. People wanted to do export. It's just too complicated. So if you're an MSME, you wanted to export, you have to talk to different entities just for you to be able to reach the global market. And we wanted to fix that with a software. So these entities on the bottom, we wanted to fix that with just one software. So it combines your e-commerce marketplace, your market intelligence, market research, logistics, fulfillment, payments, and even marketing. So what we're trying to tell MSMEs is that you just need one software. You don't need to talk to different entities. Just eCFULFILL, and you'll be able to reach the global market. And this is our ultimate goal, to be able to have access to all these marketplaces across the world. And this is what we found out, is that there is a dominant e-commerce player in each country, in each region, right? So for the Philippines, there's Lazada and Shopee, but there's no Lazada and Shopee in Japan, right? So there's always a dominant marketplace. So for Japan, you have Rakuten. For Singapore, we have aspiring entrepreneurs here. You have Youku 10. You have for Vietnam, there's Tiki. So every market, every country have its own dominant marketplace. So if you're an MSME, you don't want to learn everything, right? It's just too complicated for you. And you wanted to do that with just one software. So our initial market is in the US. Why US? It's one of our top trading partners for Philippines, the US. We have a lot of Filipino there. So it's a natural market for us. And our goal is to expand that eventually. So we built our software starting 2018 and then 2019 as well. And we'll launch by Feb of 2020. But pandemic happened, right? And that is actually happened for every business. You have your idea, you will have your initial success, but you will go through challenges. And I would already tell you this, to expect that. And that's what they call the valley of death, right? So everyone will be very excited. Everyone will be, will help you, but you'll encounter challenges. And that's part of being an entrepreneur. And you have to just go through it, learn from it, and hopefully you can exceed that valley of death through success. And that happened as well to us. Prior to pandemic, we already have challenges in terms of our operations, in terms of taking them up, taking clients, shipping as well. We encounter some challenges. For example, for shipping, we will be charging customers 10,000 pesos, and then eventually we'll get the bill for 12,000, right? So we're at a loss of 2,000 because we didn't plan it, we didn't calculate it better. So you will have those challenges. And the pandemic really highlighted those our weaknesses. And I want to share one of the things that I learned through those challenges. So one is, you have to know yourself and what you are good at. And especially last year, and actually a couple of years before that, while I was building, I know that I still need to learn my true self. And that's really will start with you. Okay? I have a challenge in terms of really growing it, right? So I feel from myself that I'm not that good enough. And I have to really understand myself to be able to help my business. So because you need to help yourself before you can help your business. And I'm not ashamed to tell you guys that during those pandemic, those challenges that's happening in our business, is that I have to go through therapy. I have to talk to a professional help to understand why it's going on. Why am I that there will be initial success, but I cannot sustain it. So one of the things that I learned from my therapist is that she told me that find what you are good at and what you're happy to do. And I look back and then I realized that I'm really good at sales. That's one thing. The other one is I like fixing things. I like puzzles. And that's what for the later part of the year, last year and this year, is that, hey, I should be focusing more on sales, to onboard more MSMEs, to link up with potential partners that will bring us MSMEs, this group of MSMEs to onboard. And I'm really good at that and I like them. And then right now we're fixing our operations. From onboarding, we wanted to fast track it. And that's where I focus. The other one is, if you know where you're good at, for those things that you're not good, you'll be forced to delegate. So I was having a hard time to really delegate. I wanted to know everything. And I think that some of you will relate to this, right? So if you're a leader, you wanted to know everything. But sometimes you have to let go because you're not good at it. You might be, I think, an average, but you have to find people that are good at them. because you know where you're good at. So that's my first tip or learnings. Second is to learn how to storytell, to tell your story. And why is that? Is because the more you understand your business, the more you know your value proposition, what you're gonna be putting in the market, is the simpler your story is, right? So on our initial first year, 2018, we have so many things. When I pitch this to eCFULFILL to others, I have so many things, a paragraph just to tell eCFULFILL. But through time, through learning what we do, it now becomes simpler. I read from the internet is that if you can teach, if you can tell people your idea to a 9-year-old and they understand, you already get your business, right? And this takes time. So I do pitch competition, I attend competitions, and if you can see my first pitch down to the current pitch, it's really a night and day. So for us, for eCFULFILL, it's just simple, right? So we make export for MSMEs fast and easy. So that's it, right? And you also have confidence in you if you go through the process, because you already know, okay, this is my business. I don't need to tell people about these words, the big words that they would not understand. So why I'm telling you this is that for your pitch tomorrow, I want you to simplify your story. I want you to simplify. If you can get your problem in one sentence, in one phrase, that's really, really good. If you can tell your solution in one sentence, that's also very good. So make your pitch very simple, easy to understand. If you can see jargons there, remove them and find words, phrases that will easily be understood by people. Next, of course, is you have to execute. I think ideas will just get you somewhere, right? So for your initial phase, you'll have your initial success. But really the key is execution, and it's really hard. You can have multiple ideas. We could have multiple people with just one idea, but the one that will be successful is the one that executes well, because ideas are really cheap. That's correct. And the way you execute will really matter. And for us, for the export business that we're working on, it's really hard, right? So Philippines has one of the lowest export in Southeast Asia and even Asia Pacific. And this is not for lack of trying for the government, for private organization, companies trying to increase the export. But for eCFULFILL, we find a way to execute this. And I think we have the right formula. We just wanted to execute them really, really well. So that's what is really important, is not just the idea, but to execute. And people from our government, the Department of Trade and Industry, FedEx, and other partners, they know that eCFULFILL has something, right? We can execute this. We can help increase the export by really targeted way of doing it. And so we're doing it through e-commerce. We're doing it online, unlike with the traditional export. And we have proven it several times already. We have several use cases that we know, hey, from a small MSME, we can have them export and sell into the global market. That's what execution is. Lastly, of course, is you have to ask for help. That's not will make you look like weak, but it's as on this saying is that it will help you remain strong. So I'll give you a story. Last year is prior to pandemic. So we had a lockdown in the Philippines March 15. And a week before that, without knowing that there will be a lockdown, I already know that we have a very low budget already. So I have a very low cash flow. And I needed to get another investor. So I have a mentor. So he's an American based in the Philippines. And he has been helping me from the start. But he's not an investor yet. So he told me that I can help you. I can help you mentor. But I don't have a disposable money now to invest, because I already have investment with other startups. but he was willing to help me explore the idea, help the idea become a business. So prior to lockdown, around March 17, so we had a lockdown March 15. I scheduled a meeting with him March 8. I went to his house and told him our updates for eCFULFILL. But I needed to ask him for money, right? So because I have a low budget. So I told him after the updates, okay, we have several leads. I asked him, I have a low runway now. I need another 2 to 3 months to execute one of our ideas. Can you help me? And he just said yes, without any question. He said, "Hey, yes, I can cover that." Imagine that. If I didn't ask, I will not survive for last year. So he gave me 500,000 pesos, and that's what we used to really go through the business while on the pandemic. And so we had that meeting March 8th. Lockdown, it was announced, I think, March 11th. And I was worried, right, that he will back out. And he gave me a call during that night and said, "Hey, I'm through with my word. I'll be sending you now 200,000 pesos. Give me your bank account." And that really helped us with that 2 to 3 months to execute what we need to do and got the partnership from our government, Department of Trade and Industry. So for you, I know this is just a small project. Don't hesitate to ask your mentors, your coaches, your teachers. So don't hesitate, because you'll never know who will give you that right advice. And this is what we did last year. We got a partnership. That 2 to 3 months runway helped us get a partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry. So that's our trade ministry for other countries. And we're able to onboard 150 MSMEs. And out of that 150, we have around 20%, around 30 MSMEs that we have successfully tested. So we know, okay, these products are gonna be sell well. And this year we're helping them scale. So instead of one box, we're now be sending multiple boxes and even container load of products to the US. And we also started the discussion with some retailers, traditional retailers in the US. So these are our clients. So that's a combination from food, health and beauty products, and personal and home accessories. So that's really our range for products for MSMEs. And we've also been, because of our partnership with DTI, the secretary himself during one of the events, he liked what we're doing, and that we're very optimistic that we're now 150, but our goal for the next 2 years is 5,000 to 6,000 MSMEs to onboard. I know I think it's hard. It will be very, very hard. But you, as an entrepreneur, you really have to target sort of your North Star, right? So aim high, and that's what we're doing. We'll be onboarding 5,000 to 6,000, and that will really help the export. Because imagine now, there's 1 million MSMEs in the Philippines, and there are only around 4,000 registered exporters. Imagine that. Out of the 1 million, only 4,000. And if we can bring that to 10,000 MSMEs, because we're onboarding 6,000, that's really very huge for the Philippines in terms of exports. And we have been very optimistic about this. As I mentioned, the products that we're selling are really good, export quality. Some of these products are endemic in the Philippines. So meaning it can only be found in the Philippines. So you have I think, this pili nuts. This is, you can grow it in the Bicol region of the Philippines, and not every country will have this. And we have turmeric tea. We have one of the best mangoes in the world. So we have those products that I'm really optimistic that it's not just the numbers of MSMEs that we onboard, but we know that there are a lot of products from the Philippines. And I think from other neighboring countries as well, you have those products that eventually will be expanding to South Asia and help those MSMEs to scale. And lastly, of course, is that in terms of the help that I mentioned on the tip, is that we're very grateful with FedEx. They've been helping us with the logistics. As I mentioned, we have made some mistakes, a lot of mistakes in logistics. And partnership with FedEx help us reduce some of those risks, because they have They have online booking. You can already see their discount, the rates. They also gave us discounts, and those discounts that from FedEx is very important for MSMEs. Because some of those discounts we pass on to MSMEs, lower down their shipping cost. So a lower shipping cost is a lower selling price and a more competitive product for our MSMEs. And this FedEx partnership is also similar to the asking of help, right? So on the fourth tip, we have initially just be a customer for FedEx, but we told them, okay, we want to partner, we want to engage with FedEx more. We need your help, right? So that's the key. We need your help. And they saw the value that we're doing. And that's why they partner with us. And they also actually produced a video. One of my proudest moment as an entrepreneur is to be featured by FedEx as a 1 minute, close to 2 minutes video, sharing my story, sharing our entrepreneurs, our MSMEs from the Philippines. And it's actually the top video in terms of views, in terms of comments, and FedEx Asia Pacific. So before I'll be showing that video, but before I end this talk, is that I wanna congratulate everyone for joining this competition. This is still just a start for you guys. There's a lot of things to learn. You'll go some rough patches, but that's okay. That's what entrepreneur is. You're actually being measured on how you get up after the failures. So failure will be basically you're eating that on breakfast, that failure. So you experience that every day. Even within the day, you'll have 3 to 4 failures, and that's okay. Just need to make sure that you learn from them. Be better next time, and you'll eventually have that success. And you'll see that, and you feel also that you're also improving. You will feel that in your business that, okay, this is it. This will be the success. You're already far ahead the valley of death, as I mentioned. So good luck to everyone for the pitch tomorrow. As I will highlight again, is to make your story as simple as possible. Make it relatable. Really, really use the time to tell the story in a simpler, better way. So again, good luck to us. I hope I can talk to you in the future both as an entrepreneur. So before this, I wanna thank FedEx Express, especially the Philippine branch, for inviting me to ITC Asia Pacific for organizing this competition. And of course, to you, our aspiring entrepreneurs. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. We have a lot of plans. Ang dami namin expansion plan. Tapos merong pandemic. Pero na-realize namin na we have to continue. I really felt that na yung solution namin is something na kakailanganin ng mga MSMEs. Alam namin mahirapan sila. Kasi nakita namin sa data na maraming Filipino MSMEs is focus lang locally. Yung pinakamerkado nila, dito lang sila nagbebenta sa Pilipinas. At yung channel nila, the way they sell in physical store. Tapos dito lang locally sa Pilipinas. So nung nag-lockdown, alam namin na wala silang bebentahan. Their business will stop. We saw a lot of solutions na nag-o-offer na bringing them online. Pero for us, bringing them online is not enough. Will not just make you online, but will also make you global. Maraming siyempre yung logistics companies sa Pilipinas. Pero nung nakausap namin yung FedEx, alam mo, iba yung gaan ng loob sa unang mo pa lang silang makausap. Naintindihan nila yung ginagawa namin. Ang gusto ko sa kanila is that they're willing to work with us na isang startup lang, bagong-bago pa lang. And we have a certain way of doing things. Pero sila, they willing to adjust or listen to that. Kasi ang pagpapadala ng produkto mula sa Pilipinas at sa ibang bansa, hindi siya madali. Kung wala sila, mahirapan kami na magpadala ng mga produkto sa ibang bansa. I'm proud of our Filipino products. I'm proud of Filipino entrepreneurs who continually makes them. I'm proud of our company, eCFULFILL, that helps these entrepreneurs make their products global.